Welcome to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement. I'm here at the News Forum where all voices matter. It's great to have back Peter Deeb as a returning guest. He is the chairman and founder of Hampton Financial and a sponsor of this program. Lots to talk about, so let's get to it. Welcome back, Peter.
Good to be here, Tony.
I guess the first general question is, what is your general assessment of the state of the Canadian economy right now?
Look, we've had a great run for a very long time since the end of the financial crisis, fueled by cheap rates and a lot of artificial things that we're not used to. That's coming to an end at this point. We're now going to have to look very closely at the fundamentals of the economy and from a competitive standpoint with regard to trade issues and the rest of it. And we're really going to have to show ourselves to be a competitive force if we're going to maintain any type of growth.
Mm. Yeah, well, it seems like our unemployment rate is creeping up. I've seen numbers, particularly in the city of Toronto, unemployment rate of 9%, youth unemployment rate of 20%. It sounds like if it's not a recession, it's certainly trending that way. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I think what's even scarier is that we're at the beginning of this cycle. So we started off on a downslope very quickly. It's accelerating. You don't see the optimism right now in the marketplace. So I think things are going to get worse before they get better. And I'm very worried how that's going to play into interest rates, into credit availability in the markets. The banks are already tightening up tremendously on new loans. So we're going to start to see the effects of some circumstance and some policy.
Exactly. No, I see what you're saying. You mentioned productivity. We seem to be losing the productivity race, or certainly Canadian productivity is not what it used to be, or compared to our near competitors, what they have as productivity. And it also impacts on our standard of living as well. You know, what do you see as the causes of that and possible solutions for that?
Look, as a country, we've had other things going for us, so productivity has never been a major focus. We've always gotten by with being the middle of the pack as far as efficiency, innovation, and productivity. As I said, those days I think are coming to a close, and we're going to need to change the way we do business in this country, change the way we look at our priorities to improve productivity and to improve efficiency and to improve our margins so we're able to take some of the hits that are going to come at us.
I mean, and Prime Minister Carney, certainly his message, at least, and the legislation that he has before the Canadian Parliament is basically saying, if he was having a conversation with you, Peter Deeb, he'd be saying, "Look, I get it. We've got to extract more mineral resources and more oil and gas resources, and we've got to trim and streamline the approvals process." This is kind of music to the ears of the resource development economy in Canada that haven't had that for 10 years. What's your assessment of that message and the challenge that the government faces with actually getting something done on that?
Look, it's nice to hear that coming from the top. Unfortunately, my perspective at this point is it looks like what they're proposing are a lot of small adjustments inside of their political mandate, as opposed to making real fundamental changes. And Tony, I look at as an oil and gas producer and having been in that business for many years. Canada should be sitting there around 4.5 million barrels a day of production, and we should have a sovereign wealth fund that rivals Norway. We have neither going on. We have a huge opportunity ahead of us. We've had it for the last 70 years that we haven't taken advantage of. I'd love to see the leadership of the government say we're going to develop an integrated energy system for Canada. We're going to maximize all of our efficiencies and all of our production to bring Canadians the prosperity that they deserve and that we have in our fingertips, and also create an export machine and infrastructure to allow us to export and have the choice of consuming domestically, exporting for maximum value. That's where we need to be going, and we need to have started 10 years ago, and we should start now and run at full speed.